Thank you so much for joining me, Lynn. I was just wondering, if you could tell me how you became an astrologer.
Oh, well, Alex, I started being interested in astrology when I was really quite young. I used to spend my allowance on these horoscope rolls that came out of gumball machines in America, if you can imagine. And while I was, before I was in high school, I knew everybody's birthday. So I already had some notion of astrology, and I kept needing more of it. And I at various moments in my life, I tried to say astrology is really not rational, and I'd give my books away. For example, when I was at university, and then about 2 weeks later, I'd say, "Oh, could I look at that book I gave you?" And then I'd be back. And so this went on for quite a long time. I think I did my first consultation when I was about 21. Um, and I probably made some errors in the math, is my guess. But then I started doing readings for people and for very little money, and they would come. And what I found is that of all the many things I was interested in, something happened when I did astrology that didn't happen anywhere else. There was an energetic, let's say, a quality of exchange with other people. And that's what eventually made me choose astrology. And and so in my 20s, when I moved to France, I decided I was an astrologer. I kind of made the decision, and then clients followed me. So,
Wow. And from there, I mean, you've deepened your astrological knowledge, but there was a particular path that you must have chosen to end up where you are. Can you think of any, fork in the road or any sort of major decision that you might have made?
to end up where I am as an astrologer, or the kind of astrology I
The,
do.
the kind of the kind of astrology that you do.
Oh, um, when I first started studying astrology, it was very difficult to find astrologers. And by the time I found teachers, I was like, well, no, I don't agree. I was very stubborn and independent minded, and I'd already practiced. And however, when I read books, which I read lots of, I would find myself saying, yes, I agree with that, and saying, I'm not sure about that. I had an It was a very strange process in a way where there was a filtering system um, about which people's authority I took in or didn't take in. Um, but also, I had an essentially humanist point of view. I would say that for me, astrology was a tool of consciousness, a tool of awakening, um, and that the point of astrology was that so people could be more than they believed they could be. So that was my approach initially. During my very long practice, um, I actually realized that it wasn't always so simple, that some people's lives were much more fated than others. Um, I still believe that consciousness is a key to astrology, that spiritual evolution changes the way we experience what the chart tells us.
Wow. I think that the student of Vedic astrology will be fascinated to hear about your different approach. But what are you specifically speaking about in India?
Well, I'm speaking about light and shadow in the family. And I've done a lot of work on family heredity in astrology. And I could talk about it for many days or weeks or longer. And I find it really fascinating work, how we are linked to the people and our own family. And I'm going to talk particularly about families where one person seems to carry all the positive energy and the other is stuck in the shadow, in the darkness, and carries all the difficulty of the family. Um, and examples that are somewhere in between, in fact, and why that happens, what are the interchart aspects, um, what's moving through different generations, those kind of things.
That sounds absolutely riveting. Thank you so much, Lynn. And I'm sure that you're going to really knock them dead in India. And I really look forward to seeing you.
It will be
in Mother
great,
India.
Alex. Thanks for facilitating this opportunity.